The buck stops here. Goal process for achieving your relationship goal. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and our idiom, our expression for supersize your business today is the buck stops here. Thank you, Harry S. Truman, President of the United States, who kept that motto in the Oval Office because he was living by and reminding himself that the ultimate responsibility for what happened in our country, the United States of America, if you're from America, as I am, or from the United States as I am, stops with the office of the presidency. And I'm not going to even talk about that right now, about politics and what's going on in the world, because it's a head shaker for many of us who think for ourselves every single day. We're just like, what is going on here? So the buck stops here for Supersize Our Business. It reminds us that the ultimate responsibility for our businesses is, and for our work and for our lives, is with us, right? We're accountable and responsible for all of our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, our actions, our values, how we show up in the world, everything that we can control. And the truth is, the only thing that we can actually control are those things in our lives, right? In our lives, in our work, in our everything. So that applies to our businesses as well as our lives. Because for many of us, our businesses are our life. So the buck stops here. I love this idiom. I have an affinity to it because it was also one of my dad's mottos. And it's one of the earliest lessons he taught my sisters and I, was about taking responsibility for our actions and owning up to when we make mistakes and learning from those mistakes so that we don't repeat them again. And that means being responsible and accountable for your actions. That includes the things that go well in our lives, as well as the mistakes and the things that don't go as we had planned. And sometimes those are outside of our control, but we still take responsibility for maybe we didn't notice something that we should have noticed before we made a decision or choice. And we want to learn from that, so next time we consider those things. So we could probably talk about that all day long. But instead, how does that apply to our relationship goal process? Step 6 today for this year's annual challenge, the Get Your Goals annual challenge, is resources, support, and accountability. And we want to think about what resources, support, and accountability we currently have that we can use to achieve our goal and objective in the area of the relationship we're working on this year. And my number one goal with respect to relationships this year is to spend quality time with my granddaughters and make sure that I do the best I can with that relationship, and that I cultivate and create the type of relationship I want to have with my granddaughters and that they want to have with me, right? Because it's a two-way street. Relationships with other people always have to take into consideration, what does the other person want too? Because guess what? As hard as it is to know and admit, some people don't ever want to have a relationship with us. And that's okay too, because that means they're not for us. And we only want to be in relationships with people that want to be in relationships with us, that people who are for us, on our side, and have our best interests at heart, just like we want to have their best interests at heart. That always applies to my kids and my grandkids. I will do anything and everything I can to help and support my kids and my grandkids, even when it's something I can't control. And that there's a lot of that happens because we can only control our own lives. So we want to talk about and think about what resources, what support, and what accountability do we have right now, and then also, what do we need and what do we want? What do we need that will help us to achieve our goal and objective in the area of resources, support, and accountability? I personally don't drive because my vision tanked a couple of years ago. It had been deteriorating, probably since my early 20s, but finally it reached the level of legal blindness. Therefore, guess what? When you're blind, they don't let you drive. I think it's a good idea. And I actually stopped driving long before they took my license away because I didn't feel comfortable. And if I'm I stopped driving at night first, and then I was like, actually I can see better at night than I can during the day, and then I just kind of cut myself off altogether because I didn't think it was a good idea. And then I guess I was actually surprised to find out that they had taken my license away. the state did, because I had gotten that legally blind diagnosis. So that meant I couldn't pass the eye test with just the one eye thing, with my doctor's note anymore, because I did that for a 3 decades, 4 decades. All right, so what do we have? What do we need and want? That's something we can apply to and ask ourselves in any area and aspect of our life. So today, what's going on? Sunday. I love Sundays. Sundays are family days, fun days, relax, spend time with the granddaughter days, and get ready for the new week. Busy week ahead. Just like, geez, it seems like every week of the summer I say it's busy week ahead. And it's really funny because my 2-year-old granddaughter has started doing things, and when she wants you to go away, her mother says, shoo, shoo. So she says, shoo, shoo, and shoos us away. Or now her thing this weekend has been, I'm busy. Go away, Grandma, I'm busy. It's so cute. I love that little 2-year-old voice. It's just so fun. So, if there's any way I can help you, if you've got any questions, if you need help with anything offline or online with respect to business, and you've tried to find this answer yourself, because I think we all need to be self-starters and self-solvers and do a little research. Nowadays, there is no excuse to pass the buck or blame not having information. We can Google or any other search engine just about anything in the world. If you want to know how to do anything, you can ask YouTube, and there are probably hundreds of videos on exactly how to do the most minute and specific thing you could even imagine on YouTube. So at least have Googled something before you ask me, because if you ask me and I can clearly tell you have done nothing on your own to try to solve the problem yourself, I'm probably going to push back on you and say, hey, go Google that and then contact me after you've looked at a couple of results. And I don't mean that in a way, but that's an example of how we have to be responsible for ourselves. We can't have a problem and then just ignore it and expect someone else to solve it for us. But I love helping people identify and have that aha moment of what is the next thing that they need to be doing. So I'm a resource for that. jamgrandma@gmail.com is my Voxer handle. Otherwise, you can find me by searching and Googling for me if you want to ask me a question. And I love to help. But I also love to help people that know how to help themselves and show some initiative and leadership. All right, that's some tough love there. All right, have an awesome day. Again, I will be with you tomorrow.